Hi everyone, welcome to week 2. This is Professor McGee and I'm here to give you a brief introduction to our typography unit. But before I begin that, let me just say here that now you've read about the history of desktop publishing, you know a little bit more about it. So desktop publishing is about using your your computer, your hardware and software to design, create, and publish, print your own promotional materials, right? Whereas before, you would have needed a designer, and now you can do it yourself. Most of the time. Well, not for everything. And of course, designers will, and I think this was in the week 1 readings as well, that, designers don't always like it when non-designers are designing things, and I get that. Like when I worked in publishing, we had some bias on, people who would self-publish books because, it's not as professional. But you know what? The fact remains is that there's some really pretty good self-published books out there. So then web design is it's really kind of desktop publishing, but you're designing a web. You're designing it for the web. You are, it's purely digital. So it's web, it's mobile, and like a tablet. But graphic design is the common denominator. Whenever we design anything, we're using graphic design principles. So graphic design is a field, it's an art, and those who do it very well are really pretty, it's exciting and talented. So, and some of you in this class will really discover that you really have a knack for it. So, which is always exciting for me when students realize that. So, there's a lot of really good resources here for you. This SlideShare is really good. You should maybe consider starting here. But there are these video excerpts from a LinkedIn learning course. It used to be lynda.com, and a subscription for this. So I can't stream the whole video, but I can stream excerpts. So I have a bunch of excerpts for you. They're pretty short. I think the longest one is 4 minutes. They're pretty short, but Ina Saltz is terrific. She is a designer who teaches at New School in New York. So please make sure you watch these videos, okay? And then the SlideShare, and then also there's lots of readings to help you with font pairing and combining typefaces. So now, what is the difference between a font and a typeface? Really, for our purposes, we can really use them interchangeably. Most people do, and even some graphic designers do. However, there really is a difference, and here's what it is. A typeface is the collective name of a family of related fonts. It's like Times New Roman or Helvetica. So while fonts refer to the weights and the widths and the styles, right, that constitute a typeface family. So like you could have Times New Roman regular, you could have it italic, you could have it bold. So in most instances, when people refer to fonts, they actually really mean typefaces. But again, let's not worry about that. But one of the key things that you really want to understand is that how much of a visual type actually really is. And for your assignment, for your discussion board, the first thing I want you to do is go back to one, not all 4, but just one of your examples from last week. And I want you to really look at the type scheme and see if you can, really see how the type is working to also convey a visual message, right? It's not always just type, like text. It's a lot of times type is used to actually be the visual messenger. So when we say that fonts have personality, we mean it. They can be happy or scared or elegant and refined or rebellious. So you get the idea. So this is what I want you to do in part 2 of your discussion board for this week, is I want you to take the list of words that I gave you, and I want you to really play with them and really bring them to life through type. You can use color because some people just can't bring themselves to type the word Halloween without it being in a color. So you can use color, but just color and just the type style, okay? And obviously size. And I want you to just play around with it and, really try to literally bring the words to life. Now, you're obviously not going to be able to bring your words to life just through Blackboard. So what I want you to do, and this will be a good warm-up for Canva, if you're using Canva, you are more than welcome to use Adobe if you want. I actually had any like Photoshop or InDesign. You don't have to. Every single thing that we do in this class can be done through Canva. Some people like to use Microsoft Publisher. I'll find that really kind of just for me, it's a little clunky and hard to use. What else is, oh, PowerPoint. You can actually do every project in this class through PowerPoint. I had a student do that once, which I thought was pretty amazing, and her stuff came out really, really, really nicely. But anyway, so when you're using Canva and when you're using like a Photoshop or one of those, you really are going to want to use a mouse if you have one. It's much easier to use because you're going to have some issues with it kind of getting some things to precisely line up. You can do it without a mouse, but trust me, it's easier with a mouse. Okay, so you want to get your account set up. I have a premium account, and that just means I have more free photos. There's just like little, when we get into elements, which are the little fun things that we can add in, there's more free things in Pro, but again, everything that you have, you need. I mean, everything that you need, you have in the free version. So you could do, so go to create a design, and then you're just going to pick anything really. You can do a postcard. Let's just go to a flyer, because a flyer is just going to give you a blank 8.5 by 11 page. So here, when you're in Canva and you're kind of first start messing around, sometimes what I'll do, and then if I'm going to go change something, I'll copy the page. You can copy up here, or you can just add a new blank page below it. Okay. You should certainly feel free to look at templates, but you are not to use any templates, because the purpose of this course is to teach you how to design without a template and to, come up with your own ideas. So there's two main things that we're going to use here, which is text. And so when you want to, the other thing too, let me just kind of warn you off of these. Sometimes these look like fun. Oh, I really want to use this. But they're really a pain in the neck because they're hard to customize, I find. So you want to stay away from these anyway. But you can certainly look and see like, oh, I like that. I like this type style. What is it? And then you can find out, okay, it's League Spartan. There you go. So you can certainly, I'm just Control-Z to get rid of that. So you can come in and you can add a heading, you can add a subheading, you can add a little bit of text. These, I always just choose add a heading because it'll come out a little bigger. Okay. So then what you want to do is you want to just do your, that's way too big. So I would just do them in like, oh, it's too small. You can just do them like in, I don't know, 18. And if you're doing on a full screen, they'll all fit. Okay. And then you can do your words, and then the colors are here. If you want to change if you want to change the color, you have to be in here to change it. All right, so now that's orange. So you can work with color. So that's how you do the text. Anywhere you want it to add more text, you need another text box. So I'll do this one, add a little subheading. So these don't really mean that much, and they come, I mean, you can just make it whatever you want. It's not that this has to be a certain type or anything like that. And then just type your words, but type them, come up here, explore, and look at the different typefaces that you have to choose from. And obviously you're not going to use this for something that would be like all serious, right? And this I can't even read. The nice thing is when you have a premium account, you can upload your own fonts because something like a Photoshop is going to have a ton more. But there are quite a few in here that are really kind of nice and easy to work with. So just explore those and then bring the words to life, put them on the document. For the ones where I want the contrast, big, do them next to each other, big and small. Whatever. You can have one page, you can have 2 pages, that's fine. Then when you're ready to share it, what you want to do, we don't share links because it just doesn't always work. I've tried it in the past and I really don't like that, and I prefer to have everything on Blackboard anyway. So what you do here is you go to download, and we're going to do a PDF. You can also do you can do a JPEG or a PNG. So for this, because it's just going to be a page, I would just do the PDF. And then if you're doing, let's say you've got like 2 let's say all of your business cards, I would do them, if you've got 4 versions that you're downloading at one time to upload onto Blackboard, I would just recommend doing a PDF. It's pretty easy to do that way. You just do download, and it's just going to download it, and then when I go to Blackboard, I will just go into the discussion board. Okay, and then you're going to upload that for the second one. When you create your thread and you come into the box here, you will just attach it. You can do insert file, and then you can bring it up that way. Okay, so that's so this will be just a little warm up for really considering font and type as a real visual element, not just text, not just a way to have text on a page, but really to work with everything to really create that visual message, which is really what you want to do. Okay, so start playing around on Canva, and there's a lot of really good tutorials out there for Canva. It's pretty simple to use once you get the hang of it, and I'll give you some more pointers and things as we go along. But that's all you really need for right now, and I'll give you a little bit more of Canva intro next week. Okay. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'm really looking for you to be really creative with your words on the discussion board.